The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, 1859–1930, debuted in 1892, comprising 12 short stories chronicling the early exploits of the famed detective, Sherlock Holmes, narrated by his friend and partner, Dr. John Watson. Originally serialized in the Strand Magazine, these tales provide a glimpse into Holmes' deductive prowess and his intriguing cases. Born in Edinburgh to Catholic parents, Conan Doyle was the second of 10 children. His family faced challenges due to his father's alcoholism and eventual institutionalization. Despite these obstacles, Conan Doyle obtained education with the support of affluent relatives, attending schools in England and Austria, before earning a medical degree from the University of Edinburgh. It was during his medical studies that Conan Doyle began crafting short stories, drawing inspiration from his experiences. Sherlock Holmes, appearing in a total of 56 short stories and numerous novels, was inspired by Conan Doyle's mentor, Joseph Bell, a renowned figure in forensic science. Bell's keen observation skills left a lasting impression on Conan Doyle, shaping the character of Holmes. Conan Doyle's initial submissions to the Strand Magazine marked the beginning of Holmes' enduring popularity, significantly boosting the publication's readership. Despite this success, Conan Doyle harbored mixed feelings about his creation, feeling that Holmes overshadowed his other literary endeavors. He attempted various methods to distance himself from the detective, including raising his fees and even killing off Holmes in The Final Problem, 1893. However, overwhelming public demand compelled him to resurrect the character. In his later years, Conan Doyle developed a fascination with the occult, diverging from his earlier scientific background. Influenced, perhaps, by personal tragedies, such as the deaths of his son and younger brother during World War I, Conan Doyle embraced spiritualism. However, his endorsement of fraudulent mediums and occultists tarnished his reputation and credibility with the public. The book comprises 12 distinct narratives recounted by Dr. John Watson, intertwining references to other stories within the volume and previous novels featuring Sherlock Holmes. In A Scandal in Bohemia, the plot revolves around Irene Adler, a captivating retired opera singer possessing a compromising photograph of the hereditary king of Bohemia, her former lover. Despite the king's attempts to retrieve the picture before his impending marriage, he seeks Holmes' assistance as a final recourse. Through a clever scheme, Holmes discerns Adler's hiding place for the photograph. However, upon their return, both the picture and Adler vanish, leaving Holmes with a newfound admiration for her, dubbing her the Woman. The Red-Headed League unravels a bank robbery scheme orchestrated by a mysterious league, employing a red-headed pawnbroker to engage in meaningless copying tasks. Recognizing the deception, Holmes foils the robbery attempt by apprehending the criminal mastermind before he could execute his plan, aided by Watson, the bank manager, and a police detective. In A Case of Identity, the narrative follows Miss Mary Sutherland, a woman left disillusioned after her fiancé disappears on their wedding day. Living with her mother and stepfather, who manipulates her to retain control over her inheritance, Mary longs for a family of her own. Holmes deduces that her stepfather, posing as a fake fiancé, manipulated her affections to ensure her fidelity, thus keeping her under his influence even after the disappearance of her supposed betrothed. The Boscombe Valley mystery marks the first tale set outside London, delving into a long-standing feud between two men with a shared history from their time in Australia. Former highway robber and murderer turned wealthy landowner, John Turner, finds himself blackmailed by his old foe, Charles McCarthy, who survived Turner's bloody theft years ago. Fearful of his daughter discovering his dark past, Turner reluctantly agrees to McCarthy's demands, save for allowing McCarthy's son to marry Turner's daughter. In a fit of rage, Turner kills McCarthy, framing McCarthy's son for the crime. Turner's daughter seeks Holmes' aid to clear her lover's name. Holmes solves the case covertly, withholding his findings from the authorities. Turner, facing terminal illness, prepares a confession as a last resort. With Holmes' assistance, the young man is exonerated without Turner's secret coming to light. The Five Orange Pips delves into international intrigue as a family falls victim to a deadly curse. A series of letters bearing the ominous initials KKK precede untimely deaths. Holmes takes the case, warning the latest recipient to beware. Despite his precautions, the young man is murdered, prompting Holmes to pursue justice. Unmasking the Ku Klux Klan's involvement, Holmes identifies the perpetrators but is thwarted when their ship sinks, eluding capture. In The Man with the Twisted Lip, disguise, takes center stage as an actor turns to begging for profit. When mistaken for a murderer, he feigns guilt rather than reveal his true livelihood. Holmes is enlisted to uncover the truth, leading to a startling revelation about the man's fate. In jail, the detective reveals the man's true identity by removing his disguise and secures a promise from him to cease begging in exchange for maintaining secrecy. In The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle, the priceless diamond, stolen from a hotel room, implicates a plumber with a criminal past. On Christmas Eve, a street altercation results in a lost hat and a stolen goose, caught by a police officer for his holiday meal. The discovery of the diamond inside the bird prompts Holmes to launch an investigation. Following leads, Holmes and Watson trace the true thief, a hotel attendant, who had framed the plumber. Despite his guilt, Holmes chooses not to prosecute the attendant, striking a deal in exchange for his silence. The adventure of the Speckled Band unfolds outside London as a young woman seeks Holmes' assistance, fearing for her life. Living with her abusive stepfather, she faces a similar fate to her deceased twin sister, who succumbed to mysterious sounds and died. Holmes discerns the danger lies in a venomous snake the stepfather releases into the victim's room. Staying vigilant, Holmes intercepts the snake, resulting in the stepfather's accidental demise, deemed an unfortunate accident. In The Adventure of the Engineer's Thumb, we follow the harrowing ordeal of a young engineer whose thumb is gruesomely severed. Hired for an enigmatic consultation on a hydraulic machine, he is summoned to a remote country house under peculiar conditions, arriving at night and maintaining strict secrecy. Despite the ominous circumstances, enticed by lucrative compensation, he complies. Upon arrival, he is confronted with a malfunctioning press and narrowly escapes an attempt on his life, aided by a sympathetic German woman. Together with Holmes, Watson, and a police inspector, they investigate the house, only to find it engulfed in flames, with the suspected forgers vanished without a trace. The adventure of the noble bachelor revolves around the mysterious vanishing of an American heiress, secretly wed to a minor, presumed dead. Compelled by familial duty, she marries an English aristocrat, only to discover her presumed deceased husband among the wedding guests. Fleeing the ceremony discreetly, she is believed to have been abducted and murdered by the aristocrat's paramour. Holmes intervenes, uncovering the truth and orchestrating a confrontation to resolve the misunderstanding. In The Adventure of the Beryl coronet, a banker faces turmoil when entrusted with safeguarding a priceless artifact, the beryl coronet. Confiding in his family, including his financially reckless son and dutiful niece, the banker awakens to discover the coronet missing, his son implicated. The banker accuses his son of stealing the jewels to settle his debts, but the young man vehemently denies the allegations. Seeking Holmes' assistance in recovering the missing jewels, the banker's suspicions are dispelled when the detective discerns the son's innocence. Instead, it is revealed that the niece pilfered the coronet, passing it to her clandestine lover. Attempting to intervene, the son inadvertently damages a piece in the scuffle. Holmes successfully traces the lover and repurchases the jewels, while the niece absconds with her paramour. In The Adventure of the Copper Beeches, set outside London, a young woman seeks Holmes' counsel regarding a peculiar yet lucrative position in the countryside. Entrusted with caring for her employer's son, she is subjected to peculiar requests, including altering her appearance and adhering to strict routines. Though Holmes senses intrigue, he assures her safety. However, her subsequent distress summons Holmes to the Copper Beeches manor, where she unveils a captive concealed within. Holmes deduces the captive to be the family's eldest daughter, confined to prevent her marriage and loss of inheritance. As they prepare to rescue her, they find she has already fled with her lover. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.